Good morning. Here at Frank's School online, I'm going to be jumping around from subject to subject to subject. I can see that's happening, and I'm not going to resist doing it. Uh, so in a way, what I want to talk about today won't seem to have anything to do with what I was talking about yesterday, whatever that was. I was watching I call them my Al Gore algorithm in on YouTube. You know, I have two of them. I have two identities, and I go back and forth. And it's interesting to me to see what they come up with that I might be interested in. And something they came up with yesterday, I think it was. It was yesterday. Was a word I'd never seen before. Let's see if I can come up with it. It's the German word is Grubenhaus. But they had an Anglo-Saxon word for it, which I can't remember. But I'll give you the link for it. What it was, and it's the best I've seen so far, of showing how in the Middle Ages, the Anglo-Saxons, and a lot of Northern Europeans and other countries too, they built their houses very small, and they dug into the ground. They started with a square pit, maybe that deep, sometimes maybe more, down into the ground, and then over it they put basically an A-frame and covered it with thatch and had the door, the one gable end facing the south, and finished it out with wattle and daub and stuff. It's the best I've seen so far. It was quite long, and it showed how they built them. AI enhanced, of course, in a lot of it. Iceland, they did it too. All the Scandinavian countries basically did that. And then how it disappeared. And I want to give you the link for that. If I sat here and paused long enough, I could maybe come up with the name of it, but I'll give you the link for it. And I'll also tell you where to start. Well, I think you'd find the beginning part interesting because it goes through the whole thing. I mean, there's a open air museum in England that they were using, especially for one area that they'd excavated. And then but toward the end, they compare that kind of housing to modern housing. And there's where I perked up. I was interested because in a lot of ways, those Grubenhause, I don't know whether to say it in German or it was an Anglo-Saxon, I think the word they were using, but they were functioned very much like my folk huts, and they're about the same size. Now my folk huts, I did discover at a certain point that the logical thing to do was to make them on the ground, not have a wooden floor. Now I haven't dug any of them into the ground yet. Because I have certain questions about drainage and stuff like that. But I see why they did. And then just last night, I saw another video. This one, Backstuga. They were Swedish. It was about Swedish examples of the same thing. Backstuga, I think, Backstuga. And again, it was very good. I was just looking on my shelves back there, but I couldn't find the guidebook to the Netherlands Open Air Museum, the one huge one. It's at Arnhem that I visited with my German friends, the Hawklings. And of all the buildings, this is vast and expensive to go into, that Open Air Museum. But of all those buildings, really the one that interested me the most was a building like that, but my camera ran out of battery. The battery ran down, so I couldn't actually film it. So although I documented it, and I could give you the link for that too if you want, just Arnhem, you go to the playlist Arnhem. But I couldn't actually film it. I want to go online and see if somebody actually did. I went down into it. Now a difference with the one in the Netherlands was it had a glass window on the front. I mean, it was much more modern, but it was 2 rooms. Toward the front was where the glass window was and the people were, and toward the back was a pigsty. Uh, and you went down, I think, into the pigsty and then into the front part. You went in from the side. It was different. And I really wish I had a record of it. I have the guidebook somewhere. I just couldn't find it. And it describes it. That's not the same as seeing it. And at the time, you know, I thought, wow, they were living with their pigs. Well, I know a lot more about pigs now than I did then. Pigs are very clean, and pigs do not stink. It's the way people modern day house them. Humans would be way worse if they were housed like that. I mean, pigs are automatically house trained. They go outside. They don't do their business where they sleep. No, they'll. A lot of animals are like that, but pigs extremely so. In that house, probably the cleanest one there would probably have been the pig, or the pigs, whatever. But they shared that warmth. But anyway, back to the first one. Toward the end, and I think I'll give you in the description a place where you can jump if you just want to see what I'm talking about. That video compares that kind of housing and the cost of it, which was zero. Really, it was zero. I mean, it took some trees you had to cut down. One's about this big around for your rafters. So I guess that had some value, but it was nothing but labor, really, and harvesting what stuff was right around there. And it said they could build one in about 2 weeks. A couple men could build one in about 2 weeks, they were saying. But they compared the cost. So the cost went from zero. Now, by comparison, my folk huts, which are all above ground, they cost about $2,000 if you're having to buy pretty much everything. I can build them for about $300-400, $500 maybe, because I can get the pallets for free. And I discussed that amply. I'll give you a link for mine too. There's going to be a series of about 3 links here. But then they jumped to like a modern day tiny house, they're called. And it said typically a tiny house would cost about $60,000 because it's got to be built to code. Industrial manufactured material has to be used to be allowed to build and all that. That's what I thought was really fascinating. Said now if you build something just minimum, not for supposedly for human habitation, but just about that size for I don't know what they called that. That can be done for about $2,000. It was saying. I didn't watch it in detail, and I've never been willing to do all the research to put that together. So today I'm talking about my folk huts being compared to these buildings in these dwellings in Europe, and I'm going to give you some links. Bye for now.